Joining me now is Royal Entertainment reporter Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, the Royals were in France for the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings in Normandy. King Charles was moved to tears by some of the stories he heard, but it was Queen Camilla who made headlines for the abrupt way she brushed off French First Lady Brigitte Macron, who was trying to hold her hand. Yeah, take a hint, Bridge. She did not want to hold hands. I know it's against royal protocol, but Camilla's normally a fairly relaxed sort of a queen. What do you think was behind that snub?
I think it obviously wasn't choreographed, which when you have all eyeballs on you, you'd hope that there'd be some sort of discussion beforehand of how everything was going to be executed. But these two ladies do get along behind the scenes and have been caught in previous instances giggling at inappropriate times, which you and I have discussed this before. Camilla just has a wild sense of humor, and she is very free spirited, and she does giggle sometimes when she probably shouldn't be. So I wonder if Camilla was trying to just look very stoic and trying not to get in trouble this time, having fun with somebody that she clearly has gotten along with in the past.
Now, Bridget is a fairly controversial figure for some because she did marry one of her former students. It's generally frowned upon. President Macron's parents even tried to break
Camilla's
them up, sending them away to boarding school. Well, perhaps, but come on, it's a bit weird if you ask me, marrying your teacher. Now, Prince Harry was missing from these solemn events. He's a veteran himself. Do you suspect a bit of sadness on his part at having missed such an important occasion?
I absolutely do, because Rita, one thing I think we see a lot from Harry and Meghan is almost a desperation to be taken seriously in the States. They try to align themselves with people like Governor Gavin Newsom, Stacey Abrams, VP Kamala Harris, former First Lady Hillary Clinton. They go out of their way to associate with some of these people. So to see Prince William and King Charles on a stage with all of these world leaders with an incredible message, it was a very moving message. I'm sure he did sit back and think, I've given up a lot, and now I'm chasing Netflix money. Now I'm chasing reality TV money.
Yes, it's a long way from the standing he once had. Now, I've got to ask you about J-Lo again. I try to avoid this, Kinsey, but Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are still making headlines. They're both still wearing their wedding bands in public, but rumours are continuing about their marriage. The fact that they've listed their $90 million home for sale isn't helping matters. What's the latest here? Are they solid, or is the marriage on the rocks so quickly?
I do think that the marriage, unfortunately, is on the rocks. I mean, all signs point to a divorce in the future. That's right. They've been showing their home. The agency is the real estate company that's been doing this for over 2 weeks now, behind the scenes, quietly. But this has got to be embarrassing. The greatest love story ever told. J-Lo has spent millions of dollars producing not one but 2 movies about how much she loves this man. A little bit of it, too, is I think that they like to play with the media, wearing their rings, kissing but not kissing in public. I do think that they are hyper aware of the attention, and I don't know what the ultimate objective is, except maybe they just want to say it's none of our business.
Yeah, well, they make it our business by shoving it in our faces all the time, particularly with that awful doco that J-Lo has produced, paid for, starred in. Kanye West's wife, Bianca, she's an Australian girl. She was spotted at a Japanese airport, and she looked very different to what we've seen of her lately. She was covered up. She still looked like a bit of a freak show as far as her dress, but no longer nearly naked, Kinsey. What's behind this new look?
Well, this is really interesting because she went home for a couple of days, and some friends talked off the record and said that she was completely normal. And they felt like perhaps this is all an act. And, they said that she let her guard down and she was very comfortable with her family and she even dressed normally. And they said they wondered if this is all just an act, which I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if Kanye's, got the puppet strings going and he's saying, we're going to launch our own clothing line, or this is what we're going to do. We've got to get our brand back on track, and you're going to be my new Kimspiration. I feel like that perhaps that could be the situation, and I just can't imagine walking out of my house without pants on and feeling comfortable with that, without some bigger thing happening on the horizon.
Well, just about everything Kanye puts her in, you just wonder, what are you doing? Even on his own Instagram page, when he posts these scantily clad pictures of her, his own fans are critical of him, saying she's supposed to be your wife. You're treating her terribly. I don't know, maybe she's fully invested in this and it's as much her call as it is his, but I don't know, it doesn't seem that way. Before you go, Barbara Streisand had a rough week on X, formerly Twitter. First, she lashed out at Republicans who are critical of Dr. Anthony Fauci have their day. She said it was disgraceful watching the Republicans badger a distinguished civil servant, Dr. Anthony Fauci, who helped save millions of lives during the AIDS epidemic. And with the quick release of the COVID vaccine, oh my God, she is very much misinformed. And she got what the kids call ratioed very heavily there, Kinsey. Thousands of responses just telling her she's a fool. And then she had this effort on D-Day where she could not help but get political, regurgitating a lie about Donald Trump, that he called American troops in World War II losers. She posted, "On this important anniversary of D-Day, we must never forget the brave soldiers who freed Europe of Nazi tyranny, or that Donald Trump called them losers," according to his former chief of staff. Someone needs to take her phone away, Kinsey, and save herself from this, because just with about every tweet is getting ratioed and she's looking like a fool, and I think losing, approximately half her fan base.
Look, I mean this in the nicest way possible. I prefer Barbara Streisand when she's chasing the pea. That's princes and presidents. When she was allegedly hooking up with Prince Charles and allegedly hooking up with Bill Clinton, that was a much more fun Babs, if you ask me.
Agreed. Kinsey Schofield, thank you so much for your time.